Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Chris Kim, Field Application Engineer at ST covering MEMS sensors.
Hi, I'm John Heslop, Applications Engineer for the imaging team here at STMicroelectronics.
And in this video series, we'll cover hands-on how you can get started using the STEVAL-PDETECTV1.
All right, I went ahead already to open up the evaluation kit. So when you purchase the STEVAL-PDETECT1 kit, it comes included with these hardware kit. So as you can see in the blue, these are the holders for the TMOS lens that you see here. The lens part number is called TMOS63-10. Included in the kit also, we have the time-of-flight cover glass. So if you want to evaluate using the cover glass, you need to install directly on the time-of-flight sensor. Next, you have these 4 screws with the hex bolts that you need to mount the case onto the PDETECT board if you want to go ahead to evaluate the lens. And if you see closely, the time-of-flight has Kapton tape that you need to remove prior to installing the time-of-flight cover glass.
I'm going to install the time-of-flight cover glass on the L8. First, I'm going to remove the Kapton tape that's on top of protecting the time-of-flight device. There's an adhesive backing on the time-of-flight cover glass. Simply remove the backing. Line it up with the sensor here and press it into place.
Next up, if you want to install the TMOS63-10 lens, you need to consider the fact that there are screws on one of the sides. So do make sure that the groove side is facing outwards. And what you want to do is place the lens on top of this piece so that it's sitting flush. And then apply this cover on top. This way, this holds the lens in place. And then what you want to do is to put this directly on top, as you can see here. And you have basically the screws to mount the case onto the evaluation kit itself. So I'll go ahead and do that. And there you have it. Once you install the screws onto the PDETECT kit, you'll see that the lens is securely mounted and you're ready to go to mount this onto the ST1 box board. Now that you're ready to mount the PDETECT board onto the ST1 box board, if you take a closer look, there is a flex cable connector that you can mount the PDETECT board onto directly. So simply just pop it on there and you're good to go. And as an added bonus, we have reference designs to help you mount the entire system onto a fixture, to help you mount securely onto any given wall, ceiling, or even on a tripod, as you can see here. So this mounting holder has 4 different mounting holes that you can mount directly onto the wall or on the ceiling. And we have a tripod screw where you can secure directly onto the holder itself. And that way it's easy for you to mount in your application. And as discussed in the first video, the PDETECT1 has capability to connect up to 3 different boards. So this holder allows you to place 3 different PDETECT boards on here. All of these reference designs will be available on ST.com, linked to the STEVAL-PDETECT1 page. Once you have the hardware ready, now it's time to download the software packages necessary to run the application. So go ahead and visit www.st.com. You can search under the search bar part number called datalog2. That'll open up a page which is called FP-SNS datalog2, and go ahead and click this page. So here you can find the Get Software button in order to download the latest version. This is the first portion where you need to download this function pack. The second part that you need is Python SDK. So a way to search that would be just to type in PySDK. And you'll see this landing page, stdatalog-pi SDK. And go ahead and get the latest software here, which should be inside our GitHub repository page. There's two more software that's required to run the application. You need the STM32Cube programmer. And so go ahead and search here, STM32Cube programmer. Click on STM32Cube prog, and you should be able to download the latest software here. The other software necessary to run the application is Python. And so you can search with any search engine of your choice for Python, and then download the latest Python version in either 3.10, 3.11, or 3.12. So once you have downloaded the files, you should see basically two different folders here. The one for the stdatalog-pi SDK, and the other portion for the datalog2. The latest version I'm using is 3.0.0. And once you extract the files, this is basically the folder structure you'll see. So the first step here is to load the latest firmware onto the st1.box. So go into this folder and then traverse to projects. You can go into st1.box, applications. And the application that we want to evaluate today is the PDETECT. So go ahead and search here. And under binary is where you'll see the example binary. So the one we'll program is basically the pdetect_release.binary. So go ahead and copy this directory path. And I'm going to open up the STM32Cube programmer here. And so here you can basically search for the binary file. So if you paste over the binary folder directory, you'll see basically the release binary. So go ahead and open. So once you have this opened, now it's time to put the device into programming mode. So go ahead and press on the user button of the st1.box. So it's basically the button closest to the SD card. Go ahead and hold it. And while pressed down, you want to plug in your USB-C cable into your PC. And once you see the red blinking lights, go ahead and release the user button. And once you do that, it's going to put into DFU mode. And you'll see the port being recognized. And you can go ahead and press connect. And we want to first do a flash erasure. So click on this eraser button and then press OK. That's basically going to erase the contents of the memory. And then we want to load the latest binary onto the device. So go ahead and press the download button. This will basically flash the latest firmware here. You can press disconnect, and you can either press the reset button on the device, or you can just power cycle the device by unplugging and plugging back in the USB-C cable. So once we do this, now we can go into this stdatalog-pi SDK folder. And you can see here, if you scroll down, there's a batch script to uninstall and install the batch script that installs all the necessary Python libraries in order to run the application. So in my case, I already ran the install bash script prior, but go ahead and double click on this installation. That should go through automatically all the library installation necessary. And after that, what you can do is go into the stdatalog _ examples here. And you can see there's a couple of different folders here. We want to go to GUI applications. And then stdatalog. Go into GUI. And you'll see here stdatalog_GUI.py. This is the Python script that we want to run. So the way that we can do is to type in cmd in your Explorer. And in order to run the application, you can type in Python stdatalog_GUI.py. This will start to launch the application for us. and just wait a few seconds. It should go through and start opening up a window. Now that the window's opened, you'll see that if the device is correctly connected, you'll be able to press the connect button here. And here you basically see that it opens up a GUI page where we can go through the 3 different sensors on here in order to set the device configuration, either for the time of flight, the ALS sensor, and also the TMOS sensor here. And so you'll see there's several different levers that you can change, such as like the sampling rate, the number of averages of the device, as well as the low pass filter settings, and also the embedded algorithms for the TMOS portion. You'll see up at the top, there's a way to start the logging. If you don't wish to save the file and you just want to see real time, you can unselect this radio button. But if you want to save the log, you can go ahead and save files, and you should be able to run the application by pressing start log. And you can see basically the time of flight running. This is an 8x8 grid heat map zone. If you scroll down, you'll see the ALS sensor values and the TMOS sensor. And if I wave my hand over, you'll see basically the sensor outputs changing. And you'll see also the values from the time of flight measuring the distance to my hand. Once you want to stop the logging, you can go ahead and press stop log. All right, once we're done logging the data, you'll see under the same folder directory a timestamp of when you started the log. And you should see a folder structure similar here, where you have the acquisition info as well as device config JSONs. And you have something called .dat format files for each of the sensors data output. And now John will show you a live example of how we can evaluate for presence detection application.
We're just going to do a quick test of the presence by entering the zone. I'm going to start the log, but first I'm going to do a software tag here. I just put the tag enter in here, and then I activate the tag, start log. And then when I come into the field of view, you'll see the heat map of the time of flight tracking me. And if you look at the data from the other sensors, you'll see the TMOS presence has gone true. And then if I leave the field of view, it'll be the opposite, and then I can turn the tag off, and I can do a stop log.
Now, once you finish collecting data with John's data collection here, I can go ahead and convert this .dat file into a readable CSV format. And the way to do that is to use our provided Python SDK in order to export the data. So the way that we can do that is to launch the command prompt here. And you can type in Python stdatalog_data_export.py. And you want to put the folder name. In our case, it's this timestamp here. And if you type in -s space all, it basically exports all of the data inside this folder. And so you'll see that it's completed successfully. And you can see this exported folder here, along with the 3 different sensor data outputs for the CSV. If you want more information on some of these other applications, go ahead and visit our www.sd.com page. And you should see further information from the STDatalogPy SDK landing page.
And that's all we had to show you for today. And thanks for your time to watch our videos. For further information, please don't hesitate to visit our website, www.sd.com. Thank you.
Thank you.